Good evening, viewers. Welcome to the Northeast News Bulletin. This is Sangeeta Bhattacharjee bringing to you the headlines first. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Tanzanian President Samia Suluhu Hassan hold bilateral talks, various agreements signed. Election Commission of India announces assembly elections in 5 states. Mizoram Chief Electoral Officer briefs press on preparations. Sikkim Chief Secretary V.B. Pathak holds meeting with Interministerial Central Team, briefs team on damages incurred. Nagaland Handloom Expo Hathkargha Mela inaugurated. Expo to showcase 60 stalls including 12 from Assam. And in ICC Men's One Day International World Cup Cricket, New Zealand sets target of 323 runs for Netherlands. And now the details. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Tanzanian President Samia Suluhu Hassan reviewed various facets of bilateral ties and discussed ways to further deepen the close and historic ties between the two countries in New Delhi today. A number of agreements in various areas were signed following the discussions. Meanwhile, addressing a joint press meet with President of Tanzania after the talks, Prime Minister Modi said that India and Tanzania are important partners for mutual trade and investment, and both sides are working on an agreement to increase trade in local currencies. He further informed that India and Tanzania have agreed on a 5-year roadmap in the field of defense. He also expressed happiness that Tanzania has decided to join the Global Biofuels Alliance launched by India at the G20 summit. Modi said both countries have decided to increase mutual cooperation in the field of counter-terrorism.
आज हम अपनी सदियों पुरानी मित्रता को स्ट्रैटेजिक पार्टनरशिप के सूत्र में बांध रहे हैं। आज की बैठक में हमने इस भावी रणनीतिक साझेदारी की नींव रखते हुए कई नए इनिशिएटिव्स की पहचान की। भारत और तंजानिया आपसी व्यापार और निवेश के लिए एक दूसरे के महत्वपूर्ण पार्टनर्स हैं। दोनों पक्ष लोकल करेंसीज में व्यापार बढ़ाने के लिए एक एग्रीमेंट पर काम कर रहे हैं। हमारे आर्थिक सहयोग के पूरे पोटेंशियल को रियलाइज करने के लिए हम नए अवसरों की तलाश जारी रखेंगे।
In an update from the Israel-Palestine war, Israeli forces continue the military strikes in the Gaza Strip today in response to Hamas's deadly attacks. Israeli forces launched the first military attack in Israeli history in Gaza City with helicopters and fighter jets as well as ground forces. At least 500 people have been killed in the Israeli offensive targeting Hamas and Islamic Jihad command centers. Hamas rebels have also been seen fighting in several parts of Israel. Meanwhile, Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant has ordered the occupation of the entire Gaza Strip. Under his order, electricity will be cut off in Gaza and food and fuel supplies will be restricted. It may be mentioned that the Israeli offensive in the Gaza Strip has killed more than 1,000 people and left 123,000 homeless. Austria and Germany have cancelled aid to Palestine. The assembly elections in Mizoram, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Telangana will be held between 7th to 30th of November, while the counting for all 5 states will take place on 3rd December. The Election Commission today announced the poll schedule for these 5 states. In Mizoram, the polling will be held on 7th November and the notification will be issued on 13th of this month. Briefing media in New Delhi, Chief Election Commissioner Rajiv Kumar said polls in these 5 states hold a unique significance as they serve as the final assembly elections before the grand stage of general elections in 2024.
भी लगभग 95 crore voters के 1/6 है. So the entire country, by that standard, would be going to polls in almost in the 1/6 of the country's spread of the voters and the assembly constituencies. The general overview, if we were to give you, The Mizoram has 8.52 lakh voters, Chhattisgarh 2.03, Madhya Pradesh 5.6, Rajasthan 5.2, Telangana 3.17, and total voters in these states would be totaling to 8.2 crore male and 7.8 crore female voters. Very interesting fact is that first-time voters in these states would be 60.2 lakh.
Meanwhile, Mizoram Chief Electoral Officer Madhup Vyas provided a comprehensive briefing on the preparations underway for the Legislative Assembly election in Mizoram, scheduled for 7th November. Vyas underscored the commitment to ensuring a free and fair election while actively encouraging maximum voter participation. Discussing the groundwork in Mizoram, Vyas emphasized that the final electoral roll published on 4th October 2023 comprises 8,56,868 voters, including 4,12,969 female voters. Notably, there are 50,611 young voters and 8,490 senior citizens aged 80 and above. Vyas further delved into the Election Commission's initiatives, highlighting the implementation of EVM first-level checking. In terms of security, Vyas shared that both state police and central armed police deployment have received approval from the central government.
I would like to utilize this opportunity to make an appeal to the voters in Mizoram to come out in large numbers to vote fearlessly, freely, and have yet another peaceful elections. I would expect all-time high voter turnout, and I see cooperation, collaboration, and constructive partnership with all stakeholders, especially our colleagues from the media, in the electoral process. We should strive to employ our collective energy towards conducting a smooth, free, fair, peaceful, participative elections for the Mizoram Assembly.
The Election Commission of India, ECI, has also announced that by-election for one assembly legislative seat in Nagaland will be conducted on November 7. An ECI notification issued today stated that the Commission has decided to hold by-election to fill vacancy in the 43 Tapi Assembly Constituency, ST, of Nagaland. Polling here will take place on November 7 and the notification will be issued on October 13. While counting of votes will be held on December 3, the 43 Tapi Assembly Constituency under Mon District has fallen vacant after sitting MLA and advisor to the Social Welfare Department, Government of Nagaland, Noke Wanganao, passed away on 28th August this year. And now it's time for a short commercial break. We will be right back.
আরে রামদয়াল তোমার খেতি কি হল?
আরে জিটি দাম পাইছিলো সেইকাৰণে নেবেছিলো আৰু তোমাৰ খেতি?
মোৰ খেতি এয়া চোৱা মোৰ মোবাইলত একদম সুৰক্ষিত।
আৰে এয়াটো কিবা ৰচিদ যেন লাগিছে।
কোনো ৰচিদ নহয়, ডিজিটেল ৰচিদ হয়, যাক WDR দ্বাৰা পঞ্জীকৃত ওৱেৰহাউছত শস্য ৰাখিলে পোৱা যায়। WDR ভাৰত চৰকাৰৰ এটা সংস্থা যি ভাল আৰু সুব্যৱস্থিত ওৱেৰহাউছক পঞ্জীকৰণ কৰায়।
হয়নে?
এতিয়া তোমাক এই ৰচিদৰ আচৰিত কাম দেখুৱাওঁ ব'লা। দেখিলা এই ৰচিদত বেংকৰ পৰা লোন হৈ গ'ল। এয়াতো আচৰিত হৈ গ'ল। আচৰিতটো এতিয়া আৰু আছে ককাই। চোৱা যেতিয়া আৰু ক'ৰবাত শস্যৰ ভাল দাম যদি পাওঁ শস্য বেছি দিম আৰু বেংকৰ গোটেই লোনো পৰিশোধ কৰি দিম।
আৰে বাহ
মুন্নি
দেউতা তুমি মোৰ নতুন বেগ আনিলা?
এয়া হৈছে তোৰ নতুন বেগ আৰু তোমাৰ বাবে কাণফুলি। WDR প্ৰয়াস কৃষকৰ আৰ্থিক বিকাশ।
Welcome back. Sikkim Chief Secretary V.B. Pathak today held a meeting with the Interministerial Central Team, IMCT, which is assessing the ground situation and making recommendations for short and long-term restoration at the Tashiling Secretariat in Gangtok. Pathak briefed the IMCT about the scale of damages and said that bridges, roads, power, water supply and drainage needed urgent restoration. He sought special relaxation of norms to restore vital infrastructure like temporary Bailey bridges in critical places which have been completely cut off. Meanwhile, Director of the Sikkim State Disaster Management Authority, Prabhakar Rai, briefed the meeting on the scale of disaster and the resulting damage. He informed that the IMCT and Sikkim government officials would travel today to flood-affected areas in IBM, ATTC, Bardang, Golitar, Singtam and Dikchu. The team will visit Mangan, Naga and Chungthang in North Sikkim tomorrow. In view of the current situation in Sikkim, Chief Minister Prem Singh Tamang convened a high-level meeting with senior officials including Chief Secretary V.B. Pathak, Army Chief General Manoj Pandey earlier in the day today. Discussions were held to sort measures and restoration works caused by the calamity that occurred last week. The meeting was held keeping in priority the government's commitment to swiftly respond to the crisis and work hand-in-hand with military personnel to ensure the well-being and recovery of the affected communities. Meanwhile, Sikkim Chief Minister further announced that the members of the Sikkim Legislative Assembly from the Sikkim Krantikari Morcha Party, including ministers and himself, have come together to make a collective donation of 1 month's salary to the Chief Minister's Relief Fund, CMRF. He added that this contribution is aimed at providing crucial support during this hour of need. The Trishakti Corps Indian Army continues to provide assistance to 1,700 tourists, including 63 foreign nationals stranded in North Sikkim. Meanwhile, this unit has been continuing to search for the mission soldiers. Out of 23, one was rescued alive on 4th October and 8 bodies have been identified till now. Search for balanced mission soldiers continues. Troops of Trishakti Corps are providing assistance to 1,700 tourists stranded in areas of Lachen, Lachung, Tangu and Chungthang of North Sikkim. Food, medical aid, communication facility is being provided. With the weather remaining inclement, Indian Army is making all efforts to keep the tourists safe till they are evacuated. In Meghalaya, following the death of 4 persons in a mudslide in Pinthor Langtain, West Jaintia Hills district yesterday morning, Meghalaya Chief Minister directed the release of ex gratia amount of 4 lakh rupees to the next of kin of each of the deceased. Taken to his ex-handle, Sangma said that keeping the situation of incessant rainfall in mind, his government will do everything to ensure the safety of the citizens. Meanwhile, it may be mentioned that the family comprising of Bianchi Phawa, his wife Pinjanai Rinklem and their 2 young children were tragically buried alive in their sleep. According to the police, the neighbors witnessed the tragedy and rushed to help, but to no avail. The police handed over the bodies to the relatives after completion of necessary procedures. In Nagaland, State Handloom Expo Hathkargha Mela, initiated by Nagaland Handloom and Handicrafts Development Corporation under the theme My Handloom, My Pride, was inaugurated by Priscilli Pesei, Chairman, Nagaland Handloom and Handicrafts Development Corporation at Urban Heart today. Speaking at the inaugural, Pesei stated that this expo will be of great help for the weavers and artisans in showcasing the rich traditional handloom and handicraft products. He further said that the expo will also help them to get better ideas about the market demand, which will be of great help for their future productions and marketing of their products. A total of 60 stalls were set up, of which 12 stalls belong to Assam. The expo will be held for a stretch of 15 days. Manipur has been facing an upsurge of dengue cases with the confirmation of 1,156 cases of the mosquito-borne viral disease from the 1st of January of this year to the 6th of this month. In an exclusive interview with DD News, State Nodal Officer Malaria of the National Vector-Borne Disease Control Program, Dr. Salam Priyokumar said that among the 16 districts of the state, Imphal West is most affected by the disease with 815 confirmed cases, followed by 193 cases in Imphal East and 67 cases in Thoubal districts. Dr. Priyokumar further said that the State Health Department is conducting preventive measures like fogging and public awareness programs in vulnerable areas to contain further spread of the disease. He added that 449 source reduction activities, 426 fogging activities and 549 awareness campaigns in coordination with local clubs have been conducted so far. In ICC Men's ODI World Cup cricket, Netherlands scored 34 runs in 9 overs against New Zealand at the Rajiv Gandhi International Stadium in Hyderabad till the last reports came in. Earlier, New Zealand set a target of 323 runs for 7 for Netherlands. Netherlands had won the toss and opted to bowl first. Meanwhile, India beat Australia by 6 wickets in their first game of World Cup 2023 last night. And to end the news, the main points once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Tanzanian President Samia Suluhu Hassan hold bilateral talks, various agreements signed. Election Commission of India announces assembly elections in 5 states. Mizoram Chief Electoral Officer briefs press on preparations. Sikkim Chief Secretary V.B. Pathak holds meeting with Interministerial Central Team, briefs team on damages incurred. Nagaland Handloom Expo Hathkargha Mela inaugurated expo to showcase 60 stalls including 12 from Assam. And in ICC Men's One International World Cup cricket, New Zealand sets target of 323 runs for Netherlands. And that brings us to the end of this evening's bulletin. Thank you for tuning in. Namaskar.